Welcome back to the Foreign Desk Podcast. I'm Lisa Daftari. As you know, here we have a foreign policy show. But this week, we're going to focus on something maybe a bit different, maybe even more important, an urgent crisis that we have here at home. Maybe it's not so off topic. Maybe you can call it a matter of national security. We're going to talk about our schools. We're going to talk about indoctrination of our children. More specifically, what are they teaching our children at school to fit their emotionally driven, their specific political agendas? Over and over again, we've heard complaints from parents across America, even more so recently. But this week, wow, we saw quite an outpour of support, of encouragement for one brave mother, Tatiana Ibrahim, from upstate New York. She's from Carmel, New York. That's in Putnam County, about an hour outside Manhattan, for those who need the reference. Brave, clear thinking, angry and fed up. She's just a mother who took on the school board and she let them have it. I would have loved to show this clip in its entirety, and I urge you all to watch it all in its entirety. It's about 11 minutes and it's up on our website, foreigndesknews.com. You can see it there. It's just too good. But for now, we've spliced up some of the highlights, and I'd like you to take a look.
Good evening. My name is Tatiana Ibrahim, and I'm here for the first time. I'm here tonight not only as a community member, but as a parent in this district. Recently, you sent out a survey wanting to know why parents were not voting yes for this budget. So my situation, my vote for no is a little different. I think the Board of Education and those sitting on the panels are thieves. I think they're liars and have committed treason against our children. My message to this district and the members of the Board of Ed: stop indoctrinating our children. Stop teaching our children to hate the police. Stop teaching our children that if they don't agree with the LGBT community, that they're homophobic. You have no idea each child's life. You don't know what their family lifestyle consists of. You don't know the makeup of their life. You have children like mine, who is Muslim, and I'm Christian, and everyone would think, they would never believe that of her, right? Because the way she looks, or according to Miss Cyrus, she's too pasty white.
Ma'am, excuse me. We're not allowed to use names. If you have something you'd like to discuss about a specific person, you can call the superintendent or leave your info for her to call you tomorrow.
Why are we not allowed to discuss names? Why am I not allowed when they purposely themselves expose themselves on social media, talking about calling for the death of a former president, or saying that any child that doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter should be canceled out? Is this what my tax dollars is paying for? You're teaching my children and other children that if they believe in God Almighty, they're part of a cult. These educators put their own names out there. We have Mr. Barry, who took it upon himself with Miss Cyrus to create a curriculum.
That should be it.
Do you want the proof? I have the proof. You created a curriculum of Black Panther indoctrination.
Ma'am.
You use taxpayers' dollars.
Can I ask you one more time? I have no issue hearing what you have to say, but
why can we not let the public speak? Why can't we let the public know that you're teaching our children to go out and murder our police officers? Do you want the proof? I have the proof. Is that what scares you, the proof? That a parent actually standing up against all of you? Is that what scares you, to call out the names of these people? You work for me. I don't work for you. You have a duty. We are entrusting our children to you. We teach our children morals, values, when they grow up to commit crimes and end up in prison and kill a police officer. It's our fault? No, it's your fault. You're emotionally abusing our children and mentally abusing them. You're demoralizing them by teaching them communist values. This is still America, ma'am. And as long as I'm standing here on this good ground earth of God, I will fight. Who makes up the majority of this district? Children from police officers' families. Blues. Back the blue children. Do you know what these children feel like when they come home? Have you spoken to them? No. You're silencing them. This whole cancel culture. You're silencing the children. Where are their rights? They have no rights. Because if they don't believe in the indoctrination, the demonic, twisted, sneaky, vile acts and education, if you call it that you're teaching our children, they don't agree with that. They're either homophobic, they're part of a cult, they're racist. What's racist? Who defines racist? Why? Do you know what race I am? Do you? You don't. You don't even have an idea. I could be black, I could be white, I could be Asian, you don't know. Who are you to determine that? Who is anyone to determine that? You know what? Children in the school system, children like other children, they don't look at color. Black and white children, Hispanic children, you know why they get along? Because they don't look at each other's color. So you're the racist, not them. Black Panthers, do you know Black Panthers is a domestic terrorist group? Do you know that it was condemned as a terrorist group? Do you know they kill cops? I have a problem when you're trying to kill a police officer. I have a big problem with that. I have a problem when teachers are passing out flyers, recruiting children to go to the courthouse, to protest Black Lives Matters, when you have people sitting with signs that says all cops are bastards. Really? All cops are bastards? No, I think you people are, because the way you're acting and the way you're treating our children and our police officers and making them believe that it's okay to abuse them, I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and let you do that. I want everyone to know what's going on, because you're hiding it. You're hiding it. You know who does that? Communists do that. That's what you're doing. Recruiting children. Children. You're recruiting children to hate our police officers. How dare you? You have a librarian in the high school passing out Black Lives Matter pins. When a student asks for a blue live, why would I have that? Why would she have that? You want to silence me because I spoke the truth. I spoke the truth. Everyone out there heard me. Whether they agree or they don't, they're going to start looking into it. And now you're exposed. That's all. It's going to end. This indoctrination and hatred towards our police officers, this systematic racism and cancel culture is going to end. You came to the wrong school district to do this, okay? You need to respect every child. So therefore, no politics should be discussed in school, whether it be conservatism, democratic, liberalism. You gave a survey after the elections. Why? Why did you ask students who they voted for? What did it matter? No answer, huh? You have no answers for me. I didn't expect an answer.
Wow. Just wow. I know we're all hanging on to every word. I want to bring Tatiana in, give her a warm welcome to our show. Tatiana, thank you for being here with us. I know you're busy getting a lot of media, as you should be. And I'm sure it's been a crazy, crazy week for you.
It has, but very much so worth it. It's every ounce of it's worth it. Mm-hmm.
I want you to walk through this with me, because this is amazing, and I know a lot of people. This resonates with so many people. That's why it has gone viral the way that it has. Just for background, this took place last Tuesday, June 1st. It was at the Carmel Central School District School Board meeting, and it took place at the high school library. So you just showed up, and I loved when I reached out to you. I'm like, what's your position or what's your role in all this? You're like, I'm not on any committee or anything. I'm just a regular pissed off mom who decided to go and give them a piece of my mind.
That's right. That's right.
Well done. People are thinking how articulate and how rich all of this is, how you included so many different things that are on people's minds. But I think the question that came into my mind first was, this stuff doesn't sprout up overnight, right? You didn't just, you're fueled, right? You are just to the rim. Pissed off. When did you start seeing signs and instances in your children's education that made you concerned about what's going on?
So we are, my family in particular, we are a family of diversity of religion, culture, ethnicities. And, we all come from different parts. And my daughter started coming home questioning this mostly when Black Lives Matter, those rallies and riots occurred. She started asking me, I don't understand why are police killing people? Why are they killing blacks? But
So you have two. I just want for people to understand your background. So your daughter that you're speaking of is 14 years old. Is that correct?
she's
So you have
15, yes.
15. Sorry. So you have a 15-year-old and you have a 24-year-old. So you're speaking about the 15-year-old in this
Yes.
instance. Okay. So she's 15. She's not understanding what's going on.
No, she's not understanding. I have family members, my father in particular, that is a retired police officer. She looks up to him, her role model. She loves him and he's her savior. And she couldn't understand. She couldn't understand why people were telling her that, whites are racist and blacks hate whites and whites hate blacks and Spanish are hated and Middle Easterns are hated and we can't talk to a Muslim, we can't talk to a Christian. She was getting all these mixed signals. And I says, whoa, hold on. I don't know where you're getting this from. I don't know who's teaching you this, but you and I know this is not true. Yeah, but I can't say anything because if I do, then the teachers are going to fail me. I says, well, why do you feel that? And she was becoming very withdrawn. They had a lot of online class during COVID. So it was already the fact that they weren't able to communicate, but they were also getting this indoctrination. A lot of teachers took advantage of it. Right. They were teaching it. So, they were smearing it. And it was really affecting her. And I says, I need to look into this. And I started, and it's bad. It's very bad what's going on out there. Very bad.
When you say you started looking into this, I mean, what are some of the examples? I know I've seen so many petitions passed around, and in everyone's different communities, they send out, this school did this, or this homework assignment came out, and we get a Xerox of it, right? It's like it's amazing what's on there. It's mind-boggling that teachers would get away with this. I mean, what are some of the instances that you saw that really push you to do what you did?
So we had one teacher. She was a 7th grade teacher because I started looking into her friends' younger siblings' education in the middle school, and they were pushing teachers on social media talking about death to former President Trump. And the teacher admitting that she needed to bring this into the classroom. Wow. We have tweets. We have all proof. Another one holding signs in front of the courthouse with students that have signs that says all cops are bastards. My Black students' lives matter. So white students don't matter. Hispanic students don't matter. Asian, Middle Eastern, their lives don't matter. That's equality. No, that's racism, and that's communism, and that's what Hitler did. And many of these people, and including in our community, they ran away from communism and Marxism. They sit here, they cry and say, we're oppressed. Really? In the greatest country in the world? They don't know what oppression is. They don't know till this day women are being murdered for showing their hair. Men are being murdered for having a different sexual preference. You're in the greatest country in the world. You don't get killed for loving who you love or for being with, who you want to be with.
Right.
And and that's what they're teaching our children.
Right. It's always, and I've had this conversation before on this show, and it always, for some reason, it seems like it's done by the establishment to protect minorities, but yet it's minorities and immigrants like you and I, or children of immigrants, I should say, like you and I, who understand the value of this country and understand what our parents and grandparents and ancestors had to go through to get here, or what countries we come from. My family comes from Iran, where, like you said, I know that I couldn't go on air and dress this way and show my hair and speak as freely as I do with you. You get to the point where you think to yourself, where is this going? You said during COVID, a lot of this came out, right? So teachers had this one-way communication. So they were really just indoctrinating because it's one way. They're basically lecturing and hoping to fill the minds of students with their own stuff. The second thing that obviously took place this year is the George Floyd protests and everything else that propelled a lot of this. So now when kids are going back to school, what's going to happen? Are they going to continue taking advantage of it, or is it going to become secret again? Because not every child like your daughter comes home and starts discussing this stuff with their parents. Right. It stops there. It stops, when it enters their minds. I mean, what's the fear that when schools open up, what's going to happen? Or do we look at it and say, well, they feel like they've got their social justice movements to a certain point and they're going to back off a bit, or do you think they're going to double down on it?
Well, so just to go back to a point you just made, that a lot of children don't come home and speak to their parents. Again, that occurs because the teachers are teaching our children, oh, mom and dad doesn't understand, or mom doesn't understand you, because mom and dad may not accept or may not understand in the moment what is going on. Now you take, my husband comes from Albania, right? He's Albanian. So former Yugoslavia, Kosovo. Very strict family, very different values and morals, Islamic traditions and beliefs. You understand? So he's immigrated here. He ran from communism and war. And, just because my husband and I may have different morals, it doesn't mean we're condemning you. We're trying to understand, but the teachers are not telling children that. What they're telling them is that, well, mom and dad doesn't agree, and so they're a racist or they're homophobic, or the teacher's not saying, maybe your family has a different culture, a different ethnicity. They come from different countries. Iran is one of them that's very tough, beautiful country, but it's different moral beliefs and ethnicity,
You just touched upon something even more dangerous. And I just thought of this now as you're speaking, and it gave me goosebumps. What they're teaching them doesn't even specifically have to be about Black Lives Matters or cop killing, because that's today's topic. What they're teaching them is to not listen to your parents. So all the way up to college, they own their minds so that they're going to be indoctrinated all the way through. So today's one topic, it's all about their political and social agenda.
That's correct. And that's what they're doing. They're giving them books. In these books, not only are they teaching them to kill police and that they're glorifying a cop killing domestic terrorist group, they're also teaching girls that it's okay to go and have children. Perhaps parents believe in, let's wait till we're married and have children, or teaching girls to have children. And if you can't raise your children, it's okay to throw them off. So the nuclear family unit is being destroyed because they don't like it, and they're poisoning their minds. And I'm not going to tolerate that, because we have certain beliefs and values, but we also respect the different values and beliefs. We don't have to agree, but you have to respect and just keep it going. But they don't do that. They want to poison them. And that's where communism comes in. They have this Marxist ideologies, and it's very bad. And if we as parents don't stop it, we are looking at a complete destructive society that's about to happen. We will lose everything that we've worked so hard for.
No, it's really
serious.
It's very serious. I want to go back to the meeting for a minute, and we'll get back to what other parents can do, because I think that you're definitely serving as a role model in so many ways for so many parents who are sitting there nodding their heads. And what was going through your mind, and how did you feel before you went in there? Were you scared? Were you fearful of any retaliation towards your daughter? What was the mood like for you?
Well, I'll be honest. If my first thought was, this is life and death. If I don't do something, I'm going to lose my daughter, and I haven't shared this, but, it's very petrifying and very detrimental to lose a child. And when you look in your child's eyes as a parent and you see that there's so much, they depend on you, they need you, and they're just looking for the right direction in life, and to see this evilness, Satan, to come in and try to take your child from you, oh, you're going to fight. You're going to fight with all your might. And that's all I thought about was, I'm going to lose my daughter if I don't stop this. Parents are going to lose their children if we don't stop this. And then what could happen? They're going to end up, God forbid, so bad in life that they end up in jail or they end up passing. You don't want that. You don't want that. No parent wants to lose a child, so it's a life and death. And that's all I thought about. I have to do this. I have to save my daughter, and hopefully other parents, but obviously there was nobody in the room, will.
Yeah, that was my next question. What that was seriously, as I was watching, I was like, wait a minute, everybody I know, I would probably associate with like-minded people, would be like, hell yeah, this woman. I mean, look, you don't, regardless of political affiliation,
that's right.
Nobody wants their child instilled with fear or hatred in a place where they should be made safe and told that, that you work through things with tolerance and respect. And, instead they're instilling them with this fear and guilt for their skin color and for their religion. I mean, why wasn't there more support in the room? Why? Well, were they fearful, or are they not in agreement?
I guess, I don't know. I mean, I think the first time I've ever seen the meeting so packed was the one we just had this Tuesday. And it was, I can't even tell you, must have been over 300 of parents of all different religion, ethnicity, beliefs, not even politics, coming together. The school tried to silence us. They tried to keep me out, but I made my way in. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. That was mind-boggling. Like, if you love your child, which I'm sure they did, why aren't you standing up? But you know what? It's okay. We're here now, right? We're here now, and people are standing up. I'm seeing more people, more fighting, more, with that determination. So that's good. We're not going to go back. We're going to go forward now. We're going to make that change, and we're going to stop this. Oh, we're going to stop this. I'm so excited.
No, I'm with you. We're going to, I honestly, I am so happy that you did this, A. B, I'm so grateful that you decided to come on this show, because
I'm so happy to be here with you.
You need to be, I mean, you are, but you need to have a platform and you need to have your voice heard, because I know that the reaction when I posted your video was tremendous from people who, are in large cities, especially. I know you're outside New York, but, we're in Los Angeles, a lot of friends in Manhattan. I mean, this is obviously much worse in those larger cities where, these things that you talked about, like critical race theory, like hating cops. I mean, these are almost held as truths in a lot of these cities and in that environment. So people feel, alone.
That's what it is. Yeah. They feel alone.
They feel alone. I mean, what's your message to somebody who is feeling the way you do, but doesn't have, maybe the speaking ability? You're a tremendous speaker. That's a gift.
Oh, thank you.
Doesn't have that ability, doesn't have perhaps the courage, maybe is fearful of retaliation, or maybe their kids. I mean, I don't know how your daughter felt, but I'm sure a lot of kids are like, Mom, don't embarrass me. I mean, what's your advice to all those people?
So my daughter is actually started the movement at school to end critical race theory. The slogan is, you and me can end CRT. And they ordered those shirts and shirts that says, you work for me. Because after I came out, a lot of students started speaking up. They reached out to my daughter. They're like, oh my God, your mom said exactly what I felt. So she was very shocked. She says, oh my God, she thought she was alone. So my message to parents are, you're not alone. There's so many of us. And the reason we feel alone is because nobody's speaking up, because of fear that we'll be retaliated, or that someone may not like us. It's your children. You love your child. You're doing it for your child, for your friends' children, for your neighbors, for someone you haven't met yet. Their children. It's for our children. Who greater than what is greater gift in this world from God? Our children. Those are that's our gift. We're so blessed to have them. You would do anything for them.
Right.
So you're not alone. Stand up, find a friend, reach out to me, reach out to you. We can make this happen. We can definitely make this happen because we are one.
And maybe that's why the initial meeting last Tuesday was in a room full of people who didn't agree or didn't speak up, is because people who agree with you take the back seat and think to themselves, well, we can't change them. Meaning
Right.
they feel like they're powerless, right? We can't change the media. We can't change, the celebrities on Instagram that are teaching children, and on TikTok and Instagram about rewriting history and rewriting, our social code. We feel like we can't. I mean, that's just such a powerful force that we can't combat that, right? I mean, that's maybe the feeling of a lot of these parents, is like it's an uphill battle.
But it's a battle worth fighting, and you will win in the end. It's as long as we always remember, we're not doing this for us, right? We've lived our life. We went to school. We're adults. So if somebody calls us a name, it's okay. We go on. But it's for our children. And not everyone in life is going to agree with everything we say, right? No one's going to agree with it. And yes, you're going to get name calling, and I get name calls. They leave me death threats.
My God.
But it's okay. It's okay because I'm protected by God. I believe in God. And I have a lot of faith in our nation, in our world, because it's not just in America. It's probably all over the world that they're feeling some sort of struggle, whether it be indoctrination, whether it be communism, whether it be that they're oppressed. It's a struggle. And I feel that we definitely can achieve this, especially in our countries. Our children are our future. So
Absolutely.
We have to save them.
I'm sorry about the death threats. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I am sorry that you're experiencing that. Did anyone from the school board reach out to you to try to engage in dialogue? I mean, the offer was made when they were trying to silence you. I didn't show enough of that back and forth. They tried to silence you and cancel you, as you said. That was perfect. They tried to cancel you so many times during your talk, and you didn't let them. And that was beautiful how you really stood up to have your time and have the floor. Yeah. But did anybody try to fix this in a more, in a way that they could sit down and have dialogue?
So after the meeting, I went over to the superintendent and assistant superintendent. I handed them the papers that I had the proof. I wanted them to have.
What were those papers? I saw you airing the evidence.
So those papers were all the tweets and the everything that we found on Twitter and their Facebook pages, all public information, admitting to purchasing books and waiting to get them into our children, admitting what they have been showing their children, our children, about former President Trump, all these things. It was all confessions of what they were doing. And some pictures, a lot of, we have pictures too of teachers standing there with all cops are bastards. My Black children, students' lives matter. That's not unity. That's not. So, but they said they were going to call me and that they were going to make a schedule a meeting. That was a week, 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard anything, but I wasn't expecting it.
So it was one of those, don't call us, we'll call you.
That's basically what it was.
Did you get the feeling from the superintendent? Because I kind of got this in some of your talks, is that the teachers are taking it upon themselves to do whatever they want, and the superintendent, the assistant superintendent are basically washing their hands of it, or they really and honestly have no clue what's going on in the classroom.
So our superintendent, she is very new. So I'm not my dissatisfaction is not more towards her. The assistant superintendent is actually very much on board with creating critical race theory. She wants that. She pushes for that. We've had some parents that have had conversations with her, and she's came out and said it. There's nothing wrong with the Black Panthers. So our superintendent, I feel, has a lot of cleaning up to do. Unfortunately, the Board of Education makes the decisions. So the superintendent really has no say. Our problem is those people sitting on the panels, those very nasty, inconsiderate, lying communist thieves are the ones that are unfortunately making the decisions. Now we have one coming in. She'll be sworn in. Very bad, evil. She is a very radical pushing for this agenda. And if people don't wake up, I'm going to keep fighting. I'll take it all the way to Congress if I can. I'll take it to the Supreme, whatever it takes. I'm not stopping. This is just the beginning.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And here you are. I mean, when you say that, you've already you've already walked the walk. And I shouldn't say whether you like it or not. It seems like you're doing a fantastic job at really owning this. You are the face of this now. And, I think a lot of people are looking to you and saying, what next? I mean, if you have all these people marching behind you, which is wonderful. And I actually took a look on your Twitter page. I encourage everyone to follow Tatiana on Twitter and see what she's up to, so that we can support you in whatever way that we can. But to watch that second meeting, meaning that first meeting was June 1st, and this second one was June 8th, I guess. I'm adding 7. Mm-hmm. They say don't do math out loud, but okay. Last Tuesday, this past Tuesday was another meeting where, like you said, the people who thought that they were powerless said, we're going to stand behind her. Some of that footage is on your Twitter account, and it's beautiful. T-shirts were made, and they're wearing them. And what next? T-shirts and things are wonderful, but other than bugging them at these school board meetings, what's next?
We're going to, one by one, we're going to go. We're going to start going one by one. You know, when you take them the chess, mm-hmm. How you play chess, one by one. We need to drain the Board of Education. We got to clean it up. And if we don't clean it up, it's never going to be changed. We've got to clean it up. And in order to do that, just stay faithful, stay honest, stay factual, and we'll get it done.
So more specifically, okay, so I have people, emailing me all the time here in Los Angeles, my friends in New York saying, what should I do? Just, friend to friend, they're asking me what they believe they can do as a parent. I had one friend who, had not toddlers, I guess they're 4 or 5 years old. So it's preschool at that age. They're teaching them BLM by having everyone in the class stand up and show their wrist color. And they're taking a tally on the board. And it reminded me when you said, kids don't see color, you're forcing them to see color. You're turning them into racists, because the first thing they see now when they see somebody is their skin color. That's right. Things like this. What specifically do you think parents can do when they have an issue like this? I know a couple of weeks ago when you had the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, it turned into open anti-Semitism in the classroom. I saw a lot of those examples coming out. I saw people emailing me their children's homework. It's amazing. These first and foremost, these teachers need a lesson in history, and secondly, they ought to check them. My question is, what can parents more specifically do when something like this arises, and who holds the power as to what's going on in the classroom? Will it be the Board of Ed, or is it just the teachers need to check themselves?
So it's supposed to start with the administrators, the principals. They're supposed to be monitoring these teachers. These teachers, the teachers union is a very powerful, corrupted union. We know it comes from the higher up elites. They're the ones that are running this. There's a lot of perversion inside the Board of Education. There's a lot of corruption. What you need to do is you're going to go to the principal. You're going to talk to the principal. The principal's going to tell you, yeah, I'll take care. They're just kind of blowing you off, trying to stay silent. Mm-hmm. You're going to go back and forth with emails. No, go to the Board of Education. Make that noise. Take it. Get your friend. Ask your friend, how do you feel? Start talking to people and tell them, listen, take that. You have to take that chance. Listen, I don't agree with what's going on. How do you feel? Oh, I'm so glad you said. You will be so surprised. But you got to stand together. Go to the Board of Education. The Board of Education is going to brush you off. They're not going to listen. You got to make noise. Start getting those signatures, get those petitions, have them removed. You can have them removed. And then you have another election to re-elect the Board of Ed members. There's a process. It can be done. You have to stick together, but you just have to keep going. If you're going to allow them to control you and tell you what to do, remember, they work for you. They say they don't get paid. Don't listen to that. They're stashing something in those pockets, and they work for you. You need to make your voice heard. Rally up with, there's so many people around the United States right now, groups, reach out to different mothers, rally up with them, talk to them. You know, maybe there's mothers that can come to your state and fight with you or stand by you. That's a powerful moment. You know, I had a mother reach out to me. She's actually in the county over from me, in Dutchess County. The Arlington High School is having a major issue. But the worst part is you have Black and white children literally beating each other to the pulp every single day. The videos are out there. And she says, please help me. I will stand with you. I will fight with you. I will do everything. Get together. There's a lot of us, I'm telling you, and again, has nothing to do with politics. Because if you love your child and you care, you're going to do this regardless, you know?
So how can people help you? I guess, you know, I know you'll be busy every Tuesday night at your meetings, right? So
Right.
that's what's in your future, Tuesday night meetings. So you're going to keep at it.
Yes.
How can people follow your next moves? How can people support this? And how can people join you in this endeavor?
So they just need to get up and speak. If you don't want to speak, just stand with me. Just stand with us as you will succeed so much if you stand in unity together and in large groups. Attend the board meetings, voice your opinion, tell them. Do not let them silence you, because that's what they tried to do this last Tuesday. They tried to silence us by keeping people out, which they were not legally allowed to do either. They were keeping people outside. And as taxpayers and parents, they have every right to come into the board and attend the meeting.
Absolutely.
You know? So just stand together, attend those meetings, become their worst nightmare. Yeah, you sound a little crazy, but a little crazy is not bad once in a while. You know, have to be on top of them.
Yeah. Fighting for your children. That's exactly right. Well, more
Yes.
power to you, Tatiana. I encourage you all to follow Tatiana on Instagram, on Twitter. She has compelling information and videos on what she's up to. And if you're a mother, if you're not a mother, if you're a father, if you're just a concerned citizen about what's going on, this is the future of our country. And what Tatiana is fighting for, the minds and hearts of the future of this country. And they're not up for grabs. They're our children. This is our community, and we should fight for that. You know, I love that you documented their homework assignments and these teachers on social media, because that's the evidence. That's what needs to be shown, to say this is what they're putting out there and this is how they're indoctrinating our children. Literally, this is how they're doing it.
We're going to be posting it on Twitter and all the web pages soon. So stay tuned. I want the evidence out there.
You got it. We will be echoing your work here at the Foreign Desk. We'll be supporting you in everything that you do. Thank you for fighting the good fight. More power to you. And again, please, I encourage you to follow Tatiana Ibrahim on Twitter, on Instagram, and follow her work. And you should see, I know you serve as a very, very important pioneer and role model for so many people in this arena. Thank you for all that you do. And to everyone who's watching, if you'd like to subscribe to our weekly podcast, go to youtube.com/Lisa Daftari. And to subscribe to our daily top 10 email, you can go to foreigndesknews.com. We'll see you all next week.